Warning, high winds approaching, water level rising, temperature increasing, voltage overloading.
Before we begin, thank you very much to Zephaniah for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the support and for another name where it sounds so cool. Like, I see the full name in there, but it sounds so cool. I don't know if that's an internet name or your real name. Either way, very cool sounding name. Thank you very much for the support. You'll notice that this news roundup is on Tuesday because I was in California for TFCon, got back very late on Monday, obviously too late to post a news roundup, so we're a little day behind. Also, I seem to have encountered some kind of sinus bug while I was out there, so I'm a little bit nasally. I do apologize. It's nothing serious. I feel fine. I'm just goopy, and I apologize for the noise I am making because I am goopy. But the news waits for no one, so we need to talk about the week's worth of news in the Transformers world. And of course, we are in Haslab season, which means we're going to take a quick update look at our Kaiser, which is currently sitting at 16,364 backers. That puts us 2 out of the 3 tiers unlocked. The electromagnetic nunchucks are now complete. Now, at this point, I think I'm perfectly happy with everything. Like, to know that I'm going to get Kaiser, all 7 members, and they're going to have all their weaponry. That's plenty. I don't really need it to hit the display stand goal. It will hit the display stand goal. Remember, the biggest spikes in these projects are always at the very end. So, like, in the last few days, that's when you're going to see a lot of people jump on board for this. So very, very cool to see that we are very, very close to having it all, and that Kaiser is going to be very well secured and be a very fleshed out set of toys. Now, that said, there is some related news to Kaiser this week. The first off is the fact that we got the new hype piece for Jaruga, showing off the alt mode, off-road racer, chest animal, Jaguar, could not have guessed. Yeah, and then, yeah, he forms the lower torso, which I know that is technically correct. You know, just be a man, Hasbro. Just say it. He forms the crotch. He forms a crotch. Let him be proud. But the toy itself is looking very, very good. I'm actually, it's weird the way that they have chosen to rectify the situation with his articulation and combination together. But you know what? I'm fine with it. Could be a lot worse. And, you know, we come up with a very nice looking Jaruga as a result. Yeah, he's looking fine. This is probably one of the more solid looking members. Looking very good. There's the chest animal. Yeah, now they can display him with the nunchucks because we know we are getting them. Yeah, everything looking good on him. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. The other piece of news, Haslab related, has nothing to do with Kaiser other than the fact that it's Haslab. Someone got their Omega Prime. I thought this was like a fall or winter release thing. I thought we still had like a good 6 months before we started getting this. No, apparently someone's already got it. This is from New Zealand, so like very close to where it would have been manufactured. So I don't know if they are shipping out right now or if like they're just ahead of schedule. I don't know. But this is kind of crazy. That's super early. But it's cool. There's the full package, the final package images. Yep, there's how big the sword is. Yeah, and our first in-hand shots of everything. Now, we've taken plenty of looks at this, but this is where we start getting, like, actual in-hand comparisons, which is really, really cool. There's a Cerebros. Nice little bonus thing to throw in. Size comparison to Death Saurus, at least for standard Optimus Prime. There's your size comparison to... yeah, all our other current figures. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly thumb through this. I want size comparisons. Okay. That's a good size comparison to have. So both of these guys are noticeably larger than a than a commander class motormaster, which is really important because everyone was arguing, no, these should be commander class. Like if they did commander class Omega, Ultra Magnus, it would have died. Like no one would have failed. No one would have bought it at retail. You would have gotten away with Optimus. Optimus as a commander, absolutely. But we also know that they would have had to take more shortcuts with the designs if they had actually done it that way. If there was any retail release for these guys. Ultimately, I am still happy with them ending up being Haslab appropriate. Look, Ultra Magnus is almost as big as Deathsaurus by himself. I understand proportionally and with plastic mass that's different, but it's good to give you some kind of scale as just how big these pieces are going to be. And yeah, there is Omega Prime, larger, or not Omega Prime, but like Optimus Super Mode, notably larger. Now, yeah, he is as big as Deathsaurus by himself. Why is his neck raised up? That's a weird display. Hopefully that is mistransformed or the head can collapse a little bit. That's a super long neck for some reason. I don't like that. Not like that at all. Yeah, and then we have when he's fully combined and now he's way bigger than Deathsaurus is. Yeah, and we still don't know. We still have yet to see like that full super mode that uses all those extra parts in the front. Because we know Hasbro developed one. It's just not in the instructions. But that gives you a good idea of just like how massive this thing is. And remember, in Omega Prime mode, it's going to be dense. Way more dense than Menasor, just as by himself, obviously. And even more dense than Deathsaurus is. It's a real... oof. I'm excited for this. It's looking better and better. As long as we're talking about combiners, I guess we can pop over to a little bit of news for Studio Series 86 Devastator. So a diagram was shown for all 6 members of the Constructicons. Nothing new there, nothing surprising there, certainly. But it does feature the first art for some of the other ones like Scavenger and Mixmaster, which is very small potato quality. But at least they are far enough into development to know, like, oh yeah, they are also there. Then you see some of the artwork on the side. Yeah, so very, very small little bit of news, but figured I'd throw it in there as long as we're talking about the big combiner projects. There is something brewing at Takara, and I'm super curious about this. So this is a small little teaser image released by Takara Tomy in TV Magazine that's showing 6 Transformer-looking robots. And very curiously, they have some very distinct silhouette to them. For instance, on the left middle, you can see someone with a T-Rex for a shoulder and the T-Rex tail for like a shoulder pauldron. You can see a Triceratops for a shoulder. They are obviously doing something dinosaur-based. And this is not, as far as we know, this is not Cyberworld. This apparently seems to be something just Takara-based in general, which makes me super curious as to what they're actually developing. Now, as of this moment, this day anyway, we do not have any name, we don't have any official information, we just know that, according to this, that is a brand new Transformers series starting this spring, which is being estimated around mid-March, so it could be just here in the next few days or maybe the next few weeks where we'll actually know exactly what this is. But it's super curious because Hasbro's doing Cyberworld, and I'm genuinely wondering if this is Takara having to be in the exact same spot, where Cyberworld very much seems like something of a slap-together quick toy line just to fill a gap with Earthspark being canceled abruptly. Takara is going to need new toys too, so rather than importing the new thing, it looks like they're just kind of doing their own thing for the first time since, like, Transformers Go, which, that's kind of exciting. I'm actually super curious what they've got going on, because, like, there's interesting things going on here. So, hopefully we will not be waiting long for that. If it's worthy of it, we'll do a whole video dedicated to its announcement, because I'm sure this is going to interest a lot of people. Let's get into some Age of the Primes. This is some stock images that we have for the upcoming Cybertron-based figures. Remember, this is apparently part of a Walmart capsule line, even though the packaging matches. That's similar to what they've been doing for the Target exclusives lately. since buzzworthy Bumblebee seemed to start developing a pretty long streak of shelf warmers, so this is just a way of like incorporating it in better. But yeah, Excellion looks fantastic. It's such a good update on the original. Yeah, oh, it's very pretty. It's very pretty. The flame, yeah, this is done pretty spot on. Like, obviously the gun's not painted, but the figure itself looks pretty much exactly the way I remember the original. I put them side by side. I'm sure I would spot some deco differences, but they really did throw a lot of paint onto him, especially in the midsection of the torso, to make this look as close to the original as they could get. Well, you know, within modern budget, I guess. Yeah, and then there's Sideways. This is the one everyone's looking forward to. So the new images of Sideways, I think, are very revealing. For starters, there's no split down his pelvis, meaning that his lower body has a new transformation to it. I'm already interested because they did away with all the ball joint engineering. So he is using pinned hinges for everything for his joints, which that's great. I'm glad to see that. But also, I'm really curious as to how the new transformation works, since he's not going to be splitting his legs anymore. That does mean he likely has a waist joint. It looks like he's got a bit of a waist rotation going on in this shot. Yeah, and I can see a bit of an ankle tilt as well. So, yeah, it's basically just the first figure, but they've upgraded the articulation level, which is awesome to see. Now, a weird thing about this one, you can see here where the stock image actually has his backpack for his tail fins upwards. And you can even see that in the artwork that it's been depicted that way, even though here in packaging you can see that backpack folds down the way the original is supposed to transform. So yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness going on to that, but otherwise, oh man, it's just looking like a spot-on upgrade of the original toy. Yeah, the original one's nearly perfect as it is. You don't have to do much to make it any better. So good to see that. And apparently the gimmick does work in some function. It still does the faction switching thing. It just does not do the blades popping out thing, which I think is okay. That's fine. It's a modern toy budget. I get it. But it's still really, really cool. Really exciting. Looking forward to this one a lot. Looking forward to the rest of them too. Give me that black Starscream. Give me that Sky Warp. I know it's on the way. I just need to see it. More exclusives. These Walmart exclusive retro packed deluxes are now out and about. People have already bought them. They are shipping currently from walmart.com. Gears is packaged oddly. So the original Gears figure had the chest removed for packaging, so nobody stole it. But here, even though it's on a bubble, they still removed the chest for packaging, which makes no sense to me at all. If you are collecting these to keep them in box, because being in the vintage box is kind of the appeal of this, it is a little bit disappointing that it's not going to look very good as a result. I mean, the toy itself looks fine, though. Like, we've already taken a look at the Gears figure before. The Gears figure is actually a really, really solid toy. You know, this is just slightly more cartoon accurate, or not cartoon accurate, but original toy accurate. Looks like it's no translucent plastic, paint only. You have the little subtle nod to its origins there on the hood, which is kind of neat. Yeah, and then we have the comparison shots where, like, you can tell it definitely matches the original toy a lot better in color tones. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. There's a weird alternative version of this toy. Yep, very cool. 3 repaints, 3 different paint jobs, and all of them use the same red. Irony that. Still waiting on the Swerve. Where's Swerve? Like, we've already got this toy 3 times. I need Swerve. I also need to blow my nose after this. But we have this one too. This is the Wave Mate, the Bumblebee. And the Bumblebee also makes a faux pas. Bumblebee makes a faux pas. I've said this before, we have a toy-accurate head for this one. It's the one they use for Goldbug, and it would have matched the artwork on the box a lot better. This is weird. It feels very, very weird to actually get this figure, but with a normal head. And you know, it's not even that. It's like the head itself is also trying to be toy-accurate by not having the eyes painted. So it's trying to split the difference here, and I think it's missing the mark, personally. Now, granted, this is the Netflix Bumblebee mold. It's the one that is actually a licensed Volkswagen Beetle, and that one was a really annoying figure to get. So good on everyone who missed out the first time. You're going to have a chance to own it again. So yeah, like in that, it's fine. And yeah, if you compare it to like one of the modern versions of that G1 Bumblebee toy, yes, they do have the brand new animation accurate head. So I guess in that sense, it's not so weird. But when you compare it to a vintage head, it's so wrong. I would have been into this. I would have been down for this if it was the vintage head. See the gold bug head. That's close enough. It's not completely right, but it's close enough. Still, it's a good figure if you missed out on it the first time, so I'm happy for those who are actually going to be able to get it affordably now. Speaking of affordability, this is not. This is a Takara 3-pack for the Dramatic Capture series. So, I guess very much inspired by Triple Takeover. This is literally called Triple Takeover. So, you've got Starscream with this full coronation set, so technically a leader packed in with two are also technically leaders, but they have been trimmed down because they do not have all the useless, expanded stuff for the sake of bulking out their price point. Seeing them like this really does, I don't have a problem with the Earthrise Starscream mold, but I do understand looking at this and looking at him and Astro Train, and then looking over at Blitzwing to the left, I can definitely see people's argument about Siege figures just being way too greebled. So when you try to mix them in with figures trying to be a little bit more cartoon accurate or a little bit more reserved, they do look awkward. So I can see a need for a new Voyager Starscream mold if you look them side by side like this. But it's a nice chance to get these in toy, or rather cartoon accurate deco if you missed them the first time. Yeah, I'm still not sure. Like, the Blitzwing is nice. I'm still not sure if I really need to upgrade for this one. I think I might, same for the Astro Train. The Astro Train, clean Astro Train looks so much better. But yeah, that's going to be an expensive ticket just for a few paint job upgrades. Leave that to you to decide what to do with your money. I think all three of these toys are pretty good. You're getting all the stuff, you're getting them separate from the stuff that kind of made them bad. No Hulk hands. But we'll see. I'm sure there'll be more in-hand images at some point so we can see how these turned out. And I want more comparison shots of the previous versions. That's what I want. Do you really need to blow out your budget? Robosen is now advertising and teasing that we are going to be getting a new Bumblebee figure. You can see his eyes there. The yellow for Legendary Autobot pretty much it means, yes, we're getting a Bumblebee. But we also have this mark that appeared. Robosen Bumblebee G1 Flagship Robot. So apparently we are going to be getting a full working Bumblebee. Remember previously Robosen did a Bumblebee figure, but it was like one of their just like animatronic robots. It didn't actually transform like the previous Transformer ones did. It looks like they fixed that, because it looks like we are actually getting something in the flagship line, meaning it will auto-transform. That's going to be really, really cool. I have a friend who collects nothing but Bumblebees. I'm so sorry for you. This might tempt you very, very much. But we will see. We don't have any actual shots of it or a full confirmation. We just wait and see for Robosen to actually show it off. Prime 1 Studios showing off some more expensive collectibles. These are their long-awaited statues of some of the prototype designs for Megatron, showing off a mix between G1 and Bayverse design. Now we have a full sculpt and display for it, along with an Optimus Prime. This, I think, would have gone over way better in 2007. Like, to keep the core of Megatron's shapes, but to add in all the modern detail and segmented armor look, I think this would have gone over way better with the purists. I think this would have been, and then I would have been able to tell what part of Megatron is what from this. Yeah, but the detail level, of course. I mean, it's Prime 1 Studios. Like, the detail on this is absolutely ludicrous. It's incredibly well sculpted and painted. like the tire treads the tank treads becoming a cape, would never work as an actual toy. But in details like this, yeah, that's really, really freaking cool. It's very, very pretty. Yeah, there's all their Megatron statues, just flexing on those. So it's all very, very impressive, very, very good looking. And yes, they light up too. There's the scale for you. You can't afford this. I don't know you. I don't know your financial situation. I'm just going to say right now, you can't afford this. You just can't. And then you have this Power Master inspired Bayverse Optimus Prime over to the side to go with it. You can't afford this. You can't afford this. This does not work. Incredibly impressive. Very, very pretty. Here's the Optimus. There it is thinned down. You want to see it with all the parts attached? I want to see it with all the parts attached. And no, it's not like a... Okay, so this is process in progress. This might be a completely different piece now. Jeez, they're just going nuts on these things. Okay, so let's get out of that. We'll go into collectibles that are a little bit more affordable for you. Yolopark just revealed that for new runs of their Optimus Prime and Bumblebee figures for Rise of the Beast, all of those extra parts that were included with other releases are now going to be packed in with their proper character. And that's designated on the box. You'll actually be able to see that they come with the upgraded weapon package. So you're not going to have to buy multiple figures in order to get all the weapons now, which is really nice of Yolopark to do. They didn't have to do it. They could have just left the releases the same way they were before. But, good of them to do. They're a good company, like that. So, and Bumblebee, same. He's going to get his battle mask and his guns. So you'll be able to do everything you want with just one purchase. Good of them to do. And to wrap us up for the day, we have a Kickstarter campaign from Skybound to release a compendium hardcover for both the US and UK Transformer G1 comics, which, keep in mind how many comics that is. Like, not only you have like the 80 issue run from in the US, but you had a ton of extra comics in the UK. Just an absolute ridiculous amount of media that's all going to be presented in one book. Also, issue 16 and 17, more runs, because this book just keeps selling out. And that is going to do it for the news roundup for the week. Once again, I do apologize for being very nasally and very ew. It shouldn't be too bad. It should be out of my system in a couple days, and just in time for the Magnetar debut on Friday. So everyone be there. The links are in the description below. I do appreciate everyone who shows up for that, because I'm super excited for it. But that is going to be it for our news roundup. So thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next time.